Democrats also dominated in state legislative races last night, too.
Not only did they keep control of both chambers at the state capitol, they will likely have a veto-proof majority in the House and could be just one seat away from that in the Colorado Senate. Political specialist Sean Boyd here to talk about how that could impact Colorado politics. So it would certainly make it tough for Governor Polis, even on bills that he clearly doesn't like.
Yeah, and Governor Polis has certainly shown a willingness to veto those bills he doesn't like. He's vetoed 16 bills since he took office. His spokesperson says Coloradans can count on him to continue to govern with common sense to lower costs and make communities safer. But this election definitely changed the legislative landscape. From education policy impacting your kids to tax policy impacting your wallet, the state legislature has a big impact on our everyday lives, and Democrats now have their biggest and most liberal majority here in decades. That includes a veto-proof majority in the House.
I think this is very empowering of the Democratic left, and Governor Polis should be very nervous about this.
CBS 4 Republican analyst Dick Wadham says just as the far left has influenced the Democratic agenda in Congress, it will in the legislature as well.
I can see these people telling the Democratic Speaker of the House, you're not going to get anything done without us.
Let's just be clear. Those 46 Democrats in the House and the 23 in the Senate are not uber liberals. I mean, there are some very moderate folks, and in fact, I think will be still the majority of the people voting on the Democratic side.
CBS 4 Democratic analyst Mike Dino says Governor Polis will also temper the left wing of his party, which falls short of a veto-proof majority in the Senate.
He's certainly shown in the last 4 years he determines his own path, and I'll keep repeating it, but I mean his policies have been good politics. And I think he's going to stay on that path of moderation.
But Wadham says progressives could make it difficult, especially if Polis runs for president.
So I could see anti-police, anti-law enforcement legislation going through, continued putting criminals back on the streets.
I certainly see people in the legislature that have just gotten elected that'll try to maybe move some things to the left. I don't think they're going to succeed. The governor has $42 million in his budget to crack down harder on crime. And I think he's going to be very intent on making sure that stays in the budget.
Money, Dino says, will also moderate legislation.
We're going to see almost 700,000 people fall off Medicaid when the health emergency ends in January. And we've already seen rental assistance stop. And so no matter how progressive an agenda somebody might want to push, there's not the money there to pay for it.
As the dust settles from Tuesday's election, some already speculating what the results mean for next year's mayoral elections.
We might be looking back on the glory days of Michael Hancock, the last conservative mayor of Denver, compared to what we might be getting.
Thank you all very much for being here.
Already 14 people are running for Denver mayor. 6 more are expected to jump in. Aurora and Colorado Springs also have mayoral elections next year. Tomorrow, Democrats and Republicans in the House will elect leaders for the upcoming session, including Speaker of the House. That will yield insight on what kind of Democratic agenda to expect next year. Jim?